Hi, this is Tammy from Pats of the Heart. I wanted to jump on here to do this video because I just got off a session with a client, and honestly, she was struggling with something that I think a lot of people are struggling with, and I wanted to speak to this, right? What she was going through was that she's struggling with just feeling like overwhelmed. She was starting to lack motivation in what she was doing. And there was a place within her that she just felt like she was dragging her feet. She couldn't do the same amount of work that she used to be able to do. She's a high achiever. She's used to balancing all these different projects. And she just found herself struggling with just being overwhelmed easy, and she couldn't seem to focus, and she was dragging her feet on projects, and what used to take her maybe half an hour to do was taking her up to 4 hours. And so this was a big hit on her productivity. It was affecting her level of confidence, and her feeling of confidence in herself. And it was, yeah. And she was aware there was a problem here, right? And she actually, what most people do is that they think that they need to take time off to rest. And she needed to, to get some massage or some downtime, take a vacation, and all these things. And she's been, doing that for quite some time, and she just couldn't understand you know, why this like cycle, this feeling of like drain within her, lack of motivation. And yeah, just she can't seem to get like her productivity up in a way that, in the way that to the quality of the work she wanted, right? And so within 5 minutes of her session, I was able to really highlight what was exactly, in the way within herself. And when I got her to connect to her body and to really connect to her heart, like she realized that, she felt a lot of fear. And this was a fear of these diagnoses that she had received, some and on a bed of other conditions that were happening that, she was kind of like aware she had them, but she just wasn't really taking care of herself. And there's a place, something here to be said is that, like, when something is happening to our body, it is communicating to us that something is not working. It's just a matter of when we choose to listen and hear it, and whether we know what our body is actually saying to us, right? And in deep into this fear of not wanting to look there, like her heart wasn't in the work because she was, concerned and worried within herself, and she didn't know how to deal with emotions. And so I could feel that in her body. She was holding on to so much heaviness. I could feel it in my own body. And so I walked her through a process to really come back to herself, to really hear what is it that she needed. She was so used to like working on these projects and doing things for, what was expected of her and things like that. She'd forgotten about herself. And guess what? Like some of the diagnosis is around having fibroids, right? That speaks to a rejection of our femininity, our sensuality, this, feminine aspects of ourselves, our sexuality. And she was also, her doctor told her she was having like pulps develop. And this psychosomatically, this speaks to a place where she felt emotionally trapped to even change things in her life. It's like a giving up of, things are not going to change anyway for me. And, where there was challenges also with her uterus and things like this. And it speaks psychosomatically to a place of not feeling, safe within ourselves to manifest and be creative. And these were all the feminine parts of herself. And often people that work in corporate, like, they don't have time to feel, right? And this is the challenge, is that if you're wanting the productivity, you're wanting to feel like, aligned in yourself to, move forward, it's like you gotta be in authentic alignment with it, right? Because otherwise, we're ignoring ourselves and we just keep on doing what other people tell us to do. And I see this in my clients with entrepreneurship. It's like, oh, well, this is what people say is working, so I'm just going to do it. It's from a place of being mechanical from the mind versus really feeling this alignment in our heart. And until we feel these places within ourselves that don't always feel so good, we'll never actually address the root cause of things. And so, how this was manifesting in my client was that her body was communicating that she needed to connect to this more feminine aspect of herself to create, more alignment and flow, and that, self love for herself. That she was able to prioritize herself first. And it's not that she wasn't trying, she was taking care of herself self in the sense of getting massages, but one big distinction is often people will do things thinking it's a solution only to go back on the roller coaster ride, on the treadmill of overdoing and overworking. They take care of self so they could, do more of the thing that is not in alignment per se. And when we are living from this place where we're not really connected to the values of what's happening, not motivated, right? That's a really good sign that you're not necessarily connected in your heart. And that's what causes overwhelm. This is what, causes that exhaustion over time, like feeling the fatigue, losing your energy, motivation in doing stuff. And this affects our confidence, right? It starts to wear down on how we feel about ourselves, and how we feel about ourselves are in the emotions. It's in the body. It's emotions trapped in the body that manifest into illness in our body. And I have a very strong angle on this because I used to be a chronic disease nurse where I was limited to looking at things in a very limited way at the physical level. And so one of the reasons I moved on to my calling in being a body whisperer now and helping people embody self-love for themselves is that when we look at the body without looking at, our thoughts, and without looking at our emotions and our energy and our soul, we're not really bringing all the pieces to us, all of us to the table. We're restricting these pieces within ourselves that want to be expressed. So there's a part of yourself that wants to be fully expressed, to be happy and fulfilled, not feeling burned out all the time. Yet there's the other part of you that wants to get things done, and you want to get the results, and you want to live up to expectations. And so do you see the split that morphs from ourselves? You see the split that manifests into, self-sabotage, honestly. And so this is a place that a lot of people are, not looking deep enough. There's places people are running away from themselves and not going deeper. And this is what I do. I help guide people back to themselves so that they can actually get to know who they are, to connect to their emotions, and to step into a place of emotional leadership, authentic leadership within themselves to lead their life, putting themselves first, and to create that alignment of flow in their external reality. And so, if you're listening to this episode and you're really feeling called, and this is speaking to you, right? You know that there's a deeper part of you calling you back home, calling you to more, to create a deeper impact. Please reach out because, you know, this is the thing people don't realize. When we don't live in alignment to our heart's calling, our souls, our purpose, passions, whatever you want to call it, right? Our body will show us, and over time will manifest into chronic conditions and, diseases and diagnoses, all of those things. And so if you're listening and, you just don't want to turn into another number out there, like, let's dive in and see what your body is saying to you. What have you been ignoring? Because you know what you are dealing with in your life, whatever is happening that's not working, you know, there's a part of you that is likely self-sabotaging because your internal needs are not being met. And how beautiful is that, to live life putting yourself first. And allowing your needs to be addressed and received, to be seen, to be heard, to be supported, to be understood and validated. And so if this is resonating with you, please reach out. You can reach out as a direct message. You can reach out at tammy@patsotheheart.com. I love to hear from you and let you know what your body is trying to get your attention about. Lots of love. I'll talk to you next time.